So, I've just been talking a lot about right now setting your form, whatever it is. So form is important, but when you set your stances and such, right, you have to be in place, and then the first thing you're gonna feel, you're gonna flex the muscles a little bit, right? So it's a more external, but you could keep on flexing the muscles and be really tense, or just flex the muscles and then expand the muscles in whatever direction, totally relax the bottom of the feet, and then imagine something pulling you down into the earth. Top of the head is being suspended, and then the arms, same thing. So the arms surge, right? You set your form, whatever it is, and then you kind of flex the muscles, and then you relax and surge. Imagine you stretching the muscles from inside, and then feel something pulling on the fingertips and dragging the hand out so that everything can relax. Okay? So if we look at the brush knee, we take that apart and apply the grabbing the spine and twisting, and something pulling the hand up and pulling the feet into the earth. Okay? So come and stand and follow. Okay? So from the brush knee, so from the brush knee, let me turn this here, I'm sorry. From the brush knee, the standing, we would have the follow step, and then you step back, right? And then the hand comes up, and then we wipe down to the center. We have the lift, then we step out, the follow step, the step back, and rock the foot, and then we spiral, and we come out, right? And then we turn back to the front and adjust the foot. Okay? We can do it this side. So just kind of running through the sequence, right? So stepping, brushing the knee, right? Sternum up, right? Sink into the hip, right? Let the body turn, right? So the back leg comes up, heel down, and then you step back. If you step back, the hand switches, the front leg taps, right? And then we wipe down, and we lift under the chin, and we step up. The back leg follows, heel down, the back leg steps back, rock the front foot up, and then spiral. We step up, and then we swivel back to the front from there. Okay, so that's the basic form of the brush knee, the leisurely tying the coat. So let's look at the spine turning first. Right, so we step up, right? The back leg follows from here. So starting with the brush knee. So we're going to step back. As we step back, you're going to pull the spine. You pull the spine towards the back leg, right? The top hand. So this is my right, your left, or however way you're going to go. So as I'm stepping back, I'm going to pull the spine, and it's going to spiral to my back leg, and then I release. As I release and bring the leg back, I'm going to release the spine, so I'm going to spring back to center. Right? So brush knee, right? As I step back, pull the spine, and then sink into the hip. And then as I release, I'll spring back to center. As I spring back to center, my palm can exchange and come back up. And there. Okay. So again, from the brush knee, right? And step back, pull the spine, right? And then as you release, the foot and the leg come back. Okay. So that's pulling the spine. So stepping up, okay, step back, pull the spine, release the spine. Okay. Now pull the spine again while the hand drops. Right? So pull the spine and the hand drops. And then when you release the spine, you turn the palm and let the palm lift and come out. Okay. And then step up. All right. So just reviewing that again. Right. On the brush knee, step back, pull the spine, release, and the hand rotates up, the foot comes in, pull the spine, the hand comes down, release the spine, the palm rises. So then from here, stepping out, so stepping out and release. So right there, if you wanted to, you could pull the spine a little bit, right, on the step out. So let's see, where are we? So from here, right, you release, it comes out here. When you step, the weight stays on the back leg, so you would pull the spine. As you pull the spine, the foot can come out and the hand starts to come out a little bit. And when you release the spine, as you're coming forward, right, your body will turn while you're coming forward from here. So if you wanted, you could pull the spine a little bit to this side, right? You pull the spine a little bit to this side, right? So you're pulling the spine here. It's really, you can step out, you release the spine, and you'll circle forward while you're shifting your weight forward. And right here, you pull the spine a little bit and sink into the hip, so this leg releases. And when it lets go, you come back to center, right? You're going to turn back to center. And then you step back, you extend away from your hand. So as you're stepping back, you pull the spine, you sink into the back, right? And let the hand open up. So as you're stepping back, you pull the spine and move away from the hand, and then you release the spine and come back to center, right? And something's dragging and pulling the hand. So you have to pull the spine this way, right? So your body rotates and you release the spine, and then you pull the spine to free the front leg, so then you can step up from there. So it's just constant pulling the spine, releasing, right? And if you want to turn that way, you have to pull the spine and then release. Every time you release, you come back to center, right? So when you come back to center, if there's no intent or no need to really turn to that side, right, you can just let it go and let it bounce back and pull it in whichever direction. So if I want to turn to my right, your left, right, I have to pull my spine in that direction. When I release it, I'm going to spring back to center, right? If I want to turn to my left, your right, I'm going to pull my spine that way and then release it from there. Okay, so let me face my back to you, and from the brush knee, so the brush knee, I'm going to come up. I have to release this back leg. I want to turn to my left, so I'm going to pull my spine a little to the left. Right? My right leg releases. Pull my spine to the left again and release it, so I can release my right. And as I release it, right, my body will spring back to center, and then pull my spine to the right. As I sink on my right leg, my left hand comes up, my left foot is in, and as I release, I'll come back to center. I pull my spine to the right as my hand drops. As I release, my hand rises, my left foot rises, and I step up, and then pull my spine to the left. So my body turns and pulls into my left hip. My right foot releases, and I release my spine. I come back to center. I pull my spine a little to the left so I can release my right leg. And as I sit back, I release first. I'm going to start turning. As I sit back, I pull my spine to my right. My left leg releases from there. Okay. So I try that one more time. Just don't worry about the palms. Just focus on the spine right now. So started with brushing the left knee. Right? I'm going to pull my spine to the left. So I sink into my left hip. My right foot can do a follow step. Release the spine, I start springing back. My left hand can start coming up. Pull my spine back to my right, right? So I can step back. Release my spine, I'll turn back to center. The hands are falling. Pull my spine back to the right. My hands start lifting and step out. Release the spine, spring back to center. Follow step. Okay. Pull my spine a little to the left so I can sink and my right foot releases. Release the spine and then pull it to the right as I sit back on my right and extend away from my left hand. Right? My left foot up, sorry. And then something pulling my hand, right? And then pull my spine to the left a little, release, and come back. And there. Yeah. So yeah, really have to take some time. Now, when you can see how pulling the spine can help the sitting on the back leg, right? So last week we talked about when you shift, right? When you shift, you want to turn. You want to turn and fold into this hip. So don't just shift and try to be straight, right? If you keep your body straight, you can feel the tension. It requires more tension. And you're going to think, oh, that's good, that's solid, right? I'm using my muscle. Yes, but you're using too much muscle. So if you shift and relax, if you relax, it wants to turn. And then you notice the whole leg doesn't get tight, right? Only the muscles you need, the muscle groups you need, right? And it'll help you to fold to keep the knee back. So you let it fold. So if you add the action of pulling the spine, right? So as I'm shifting and relaxing at the same time, pull my spine, it'll help me sink and fold right into the hip, right? And turning and pulling creates that spiral, and we're sinking down, so you're creating some drilling force going into the ground if you want it. Okay? So don't just sink and fold. If you want to really accentuate that wrapping and twisting action, right? Pull the spine, right? Pull the spine and sink and let the body turn, right? And then you can turn and fold into the back leg, right? So it's just another level of enhancement, of refinement in the movement. Okay? So when we sink into one hip fully, 100%, right? Sink into one hip 100%, then the other leg will release. So if we want to step back, we have to sink into one leg, and then we can step forward, and we can step back, and we can step side. Right? Want to move the other leg, we have to sink, relax, sink 100%. Right? Then this leg is free to move in whatever direction it needs to move. So if we enhance it by pulling the spine, right? So not just sinking, but pulling the spine, they'll really kind of drill that down right into the correct spot. Okay? All right, so take a second to think about that. Remember, once it's posted on YouTube, you can pause and slow this down. Right? Okay, so brushing the knee left or right. Right? We want to bring the leg up. So to bring the leg up, we want to turn. So since we're going to turn that way, we want to grab and pull the spine. Relax this, just let this go and pull the spine, and then you sink and that leg can step up. Okay? And then we want to step back, so we have to grab and pull the spine a little bit again to make sure that we can release that back leg. Right? And then when we release the spine, we're going to spring back to center. Right? So we're going to spring back, and then we want to sit back. So we want to pull the spine, and then this leg is released. Okay? And then we're going to step up. When you release the spine, we're going to spring back to center and start shifting up and then we want to pull the spine so that leg can release again. So you can see if you could do it in practicing walking. Right? If I want to step up, right, I have to pull my spine, and I'll sink into this hip, then I can walk, then I release it, and I'm going to spring back here, and as I bring my weight up to the front, I'm going to pull my spine so I can sink on the front leg, the back leg releases, it steps up, I release my spine, I can start shifting to that leg and then pull the spine and then release, and then pull the spine, release, and pull the spine, release, and then pull the spine and release. You can turn it into a walking exercise to study that movement. Yeah. So if I'm facing you straight up, right, I'll start by turning my foot out, right, and pull my spine so I can sit on the back leg. I can release, I'll spring back and I'll shift my weight up and then pull my spine. Then I'll release. And as I shift, pull my spine, release, I'll turn back and step, and shift and pull my spine, and then release. I'm going to come back and step and then pull my spine. And when I release, right, I'm going to spring back to center. From there. Okay. All right, so one more time, I'll do it with my back. And just focusing on the spine and leisurely tying the gentleman's coat. So left or right, doesn't matter which one you do. Okay. So starting from the brush knee, okay, I'm going to pull my spine to my left so my right leg can step up. Okay. And then release a little bit and then pull my spine back to the left because I want to step back up. Release my spine so I start springing back and then pull my spine to the right and my left side is free. As I release, I come back to center. Pull my spine back to the right. As I release, I come back to the center. And then I can step and start shifting and pull my spine to the left so my right leg can follow step, right? And pull my spine back to the left so I can release and step back. As I release, I start turning back to the center and turn to the right and pull my spine to the right. Release my left foot. And then as I release, I start turning back to the center, to the left. And then pull my spine to the left and release. And then I can step up and pull my spine a little to the left so my right foot can follow step. And then swivel back to the right. Shift and turn. Okay. So take some time just walking, and right as you release, you're going to turn and the back leg can follow. And then wherever you want to go, if you're going to step and transfer, sink and then pull your spine, or if you step back, then I have to pull again this way so I can rotate back. Right? Release, I'm going to come back to center and then pull my spine. And I'm just saying pull my spine, but I'm probably also thinking as I pull my spine, I'm pulling it down into that hip joint, right? So I'm aiming down into that hip joint so I can sink into that hip joint. Okay. All right, so that's the feet, that's the spine. And then what about the hands? So look at from the brush knee, right, from here, right? So pull my spine. And just release the palms right here, right? That first part. So brush knee, and then see my upper hand, just kind of releasing as a follow step from here. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm mixing up my forms. So yeah, we want the palm open. Right? So the Sun style, palm is open, right? So as I sink, right, from here, and keep this palm open. As I sit back, right, I just relax this hand so it just falls a little bit. Oh, okay. Thank you. Enjoy. Yeah, there's a message in the chat if you want to look at it. Right. So brush knee. Right. So as I sit back, I just let the left hand fall. Or you can imagine something pulling the left hand down. Right. And then from here, something pulling the left hand up. So it comes up, right, and then pulling it forward. So if something's pulling the hand down, and then it releases, and then it pulls it forward, right? Pulls it forward here, just a little bit, just a little bit. So the brush knee, right? Something, this hand is falling and being pulled down, and then it releases, and it floats up, and then something pulling the hand up, and then something pulling the hand forward from here. So just looking at this movement here, up and out, right? Down, turn, release, it rises and out, right? Down, releases, it rises and out, right? Down, releases, rises and out. So you can imagine something, if you let it go and then something's pulling the hand down and then it releases, so it starts floating up, and then something pulling the hand, the palm out here. Something pulling the hand out, okay? And then something pulling the hand down, right? In this palm, left palm, and then it releases. As it releases, it turns and rotates, and then something pulling the hand up, and then something pulling the hand forward, and then that same cable whipping the hand around. So you just relax all the joints, let everything drop, just let this cable pull, right? And it springs back to the front. Right? So there's something pulling and dragging, and then it releases and it just springs. It opens up a little bit from there. Okay? So again, so I'll face you. So in the brush knee. Okay? As you step up, you release the lower hand. Right? This hand is still open. Release the lower hand, and as you step back, something, just let it spring, and something pulling the hand up, and then pulling the hand forward. And then as it releases, it starts to fall with something pulling the hand down and into the body. Right? And as it releases, the palm just springs back and rotates up, and then something pulling the palm up. And as you release, it starts springing forward, it starts pulling forward. And as you step back, it keeps on pulling and pulling and pulling in the circle. And then it releases. And then something, just a small pull on the palm as you come forward. Right? So that small pull on the palm feels like it's dragging, pulling the whole body forward. Right? So something's pulling, 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 and then it releases, and then something pulls the palm forward, and the whole body follows from there. Okay. So face this way. We'll brush the knee. You step up, start releasing the lower hand. The top hand is still open. As you step up, something starts pulling the left palm and draws it up, and then pulls it to the front, and then it starts to release, and then it pulls it down, and then it releases, and then it pulls the palm up, and then it releases, and then something starts pulling it out on that last part, right? So it just releases, and then it starts pulling. As you step back, it starts pulling, 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 and then it releases, and some pulls it to the front, right? And that helps shift all the way to the front, right? And then just those cables coming up. Okay. All right. Any questions? I know it's got to be confusing. So it's just repetition, like everything else, repetition, or just developing. Even if you don't feel it all the time, that's fine. But if you even just one movement, you feel, oh yeah, I can feel it pulling or pulling down, or drawing or releasing, and I spring back. Right, you're starting to get it. Okay, so if you can add the two together, wow, right, that's a lot of energy, a lot of different forces at play. Okay, so from the brush knee, right, I'm gonna pull my spine to the left, sink into my left hip. Right, if I want, I could imagine something pulling my palm forward, my right palm forward too. So then I can step, right, and then I pull my spine a little bit again, so I can release. So I can step back with my right, and then as I release, I spring back to my right. I can sit back and then pull my spine to the right, and my palm is being pulled up. And as I release, everything springs back to center, and then my palm's being pulled down while my spine is being pulled to my right. And as I release, right, it springs back to center, and then my palms are being pulled upwards. And I pull my spine a little bit to the right so I can sink back into the hip. And I release, I start coming to the center, and then I pull my spine to the left. And my fingers are being pulled out a little bit. My right foot can step up. Right? And then I pull my spine back to the left so my right leg releases so I can step back. And release, and then something dragging my hand, and then pull my spine to the left and release everything so it springs back, and then pull my palm to the front and pull my spine to the left so I sink, and my right leg can release, and then I can swivel back to the front. So it's a lot. And if you miss one, don't worry about it. If you're folding into the hip and you're starting to get that reaction, it'll just feel so relaxed and so good. If you get the pulling of the spine and the pulling of the palm, it just enhances the movement, right? Like you have this, it's an external force being pulled and pushing and pulling you, and the coiling and wrapping comes out. But if you don't add that quite so much, it'll still be there. It'll just look a little bit more relaxed, right? If you're not using quite so much of those energies, right? You'll still look nice and relaxed, and it can still come out. And to practice like this, there's a lot of value in this too, in relaxing and letting the joints move, right? We want the movement, so it's not just practicing one way, right? And then there's value to doing it where you're focusing on those kind of energies coming out, and seeing what you can coordinate, and then training the body. It's not easy. It takes a lot of concentration. I really have to think. And I'm not doing it right now. Release. I have to walk myself to release and pull my hand, and then step. Imagine something pulling, and then pull my spine. Right, and step back, release, and pull my spine, and then pull the palm, and then pull the spine. Yeah, I really have to focus and walk myself through all of those individual things. And then you relax. So your warm down is just do it without thinking and see what comes out. Yeah, and it'll probably just flow a little nicer, even if you're not so focused on pulling the spine and pulling the palm. You start to feel a little bit of it, right? Instead of a storm, it'll just be kind of that light, nice breeze, and more relaxed. And things will start flowing a little bit more, right? So you just have to experiment and try with all of that. All right, just loosen everything up. That's a lot. Yeah. Take everything out, especially if you've been folding, you're really exercising these muscles in here. Okay, let's end with our bell meditation. Bon, would you come and join us for the bell meditation? By the way, this background music that I've been settling on the last few weeks, it's the channel is called Chinese Traditional Music. And this particular one, they actually kind of change it and refresh it. They just kind of remix it. But this particular one is something like 11 hours long. So yeah, there's a lot of nice things on YouTube. You could just set it as background music all day. Sometimes you have to check it. You notice every so often it does go off for some reason. It might be YouTube or it might be something else. Okay, feet on the ground. Sit nice and comfortably, or you can stand if you want. Come up, just gently stretch, gently wiggle everything out and let everything fall back into place. Do 3 times. Relaxing all the facial muscles, the neck muscles, the shoulders. Just finding that perfect position for you, trying to be that perfect soap bubble. Just resting. Any distractions, acknowledge them, and then bring yourself back to the meditation. You slowly open your eyes, rub your hands together. Oops. Yeah, you can open up your microphones and videos before we warm down. So just remember, next week we'll take a break. No class next Sunday, Father's Day. Where are you taking me? Yeah, brush your hair. Maybe I should just set up the tent and the barbecue, yeah. And the pool. If nobody else wants to use the pool, I'll just sit in the pool. You can join me if you want. Put half of the pool under the tarp and make sure you move your head around and you loosen up your neck. Rub right, you feel that joint where the earlobe, the ear connects right behind there. I can feel that joint. You open and close your mouth. Gently press in and out and just work your way down. You can get some oil or some lotion if you want. You can just kind of squeegee that out and relax your arms. Yeah, just squeegee that jawline. You can feel all those lumps in there. Yeah. I've taken away some of yours already, but there's a lot of tension in there. And you just come all the way down. Like sometimes I make my hand like this, and so that the jaw, right, that corner sits right in there, and then the thumb can just kind of squeegee that. Just even like you're throwing it away, right? You're cleaning it out. Yeah. My other friend was telling me how she's doing a lot of facial exercises, right? Because there are muscles. You go on YouTube, you can find some. I'm sure you can find facial exercises on there. Try to do 3 rounds of the slapping. Loose wrist. Loose slapping. Just enough to be comfortable for you. And you can develop it if you did this every day. You could slowly slap a little harder, just slowly. And just take your time and develop it. And kidneys, back up leg, outside, front, and inside. Okay. So come up, breathe in, relax, let everything go, let all the joints go. Again, that perfect little soap bubble, just resting. Right hand, left hand. All right, thank you, everybody. Are you still there? Everybody fall asleep?